Well, good morning, everyone. Happy July 30th. I'm sorry I didn't do an update last night, but there wasn't really a whole lot to talk about. However, today, as you can see on our graphic here from the National Hurricane Center, there has been a little bit of an update. The percentage of development has shot up to 60%, which means it's just under almost the certainty of development. But that doesn't really matter at this point. Anywhere in the shaded area, which has changed a little bit here overnight, is probably going to see some effects from this tropical disturbance, regardless of its development. Bahamas, Hispaniola, or most of Cuba, a lot of Florida, going to see some rain off this most likely, regardless of how quickly it develops or what it develops into. Now, again, right now, you should be in monitor mode if you're anywhere in the shaded area. You should be going over your hurricane kit. Make sure you have your batteries, your non-perishable foods, your water. Make sure all that is looked at and you do your maintenance. Because if you don't do your maintenance, that's where you start coming into trouble or in these situations. As it's not uncommon to get power outages, especially during hurricanes. Last hurricane I was in, my power was out for 5 days, which is a really fast turnaround for a Category 3 hurricane hit. My internet, however, was out for almost a full month. So be ready for that kind of thing. And that's the kind of stuff you need to start going over now before you need to pull your trigger on it. So why do I think this shaded area is probably pretty accurate? Again, I'm not a weather expert. I'm just reporting to you from the person on the ground who's been in hurricanes before, who doesn't find the situation fun, and hopes that me sharing this information will let you make it easier when you're in that kind of situation if you live in hurricane prone areas like I do. So we're going to look at the steering pattern here from windy.com. And while I'm looking at animated, you have a still graphic, but the information is still pretty much the same. Where the tropical wave is, you can see the bow down to the east of the Lesser Antilles. You can see the upper level circulation trying to close off. It's not closed off yet, which is why they're not classifying it. But you can clearly see it's starting to organize and starting to close off, which means we can probably expect a tropical system of some kind in the next 48 to 76 hours. So what that'll be, could be a low wind tropical storm, could just be a depression. I don't know. But we can probably expect something to start developing based on what the National Hurricane Center is saying. And the steering patterns, you can see where the wind bars are flowing. They're flowing up right into that shaded area, all the way from Florida over Cuba, Hispaniola, or you can see it's flowing in the exact direction where they have the shaded area. So, putting all this together, that's what I say. Go over your hurricane kits now, because you don't want to be caught with your pants down. And that's the only update I have for you today. If they start issuing watches and warnings, I will post an update about that when the time is appropriate. But for the most part, I'm hoping the storm fizzles out, or if it must develop, that it develops after it's past the Bahamas and ends up being a fish storm. That's my hope, and with that, I'm signing off, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye, guys.